here we are, though. We all made it through, didn't we? I feel like we're friends with family tonight, yeah? And we are the survivors. We're the ones who made it through, ladies and gentlemen. We made it through. And I feel privileged to be amongst those people, to be amongst the survivors, with you here tonight in Hackney. And the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, when you stop and think about it, this last couple of years, we have been living in a history book, haven't we? We have, haven't we, Lumpy Wayne? We've been living in a history book, haven't we? We've been living in a history book, yeah? Haven't we, Paul? Yeah? We've been living in a history book. And I don't know about you, but I do not like fucking living in a history book, right? Because normally you expect to get obviously you're always in a history book. I'd expect to get a paragraph, maybe a page, maximum, right? There's going to be whole fucking volumes about us, right? And the stuff that's gone on of late. Whole volumes, libraries groaning, shelves groaning with the story of us, right? And here's the thing. I like history. I'm a fan of history. It's useful in a pub quiz. 1066, Battle of Hastings. Right? 1815, Battle of Waterloo, France, done for, right? But here's the thing. I've got a theory about history that I think has been proved right in the last couple of years. It's a theory about history I want to put to you because I genuinely believe we've proved this theory right with the events of the last 2 years. And it's a simple idea. It's a simple thing, and it's this. It's the idea that when you look at any period of history, what you see, what you realise, is that the people from that period of time belong in that period of time. They fit the times. The times fit the people, and the people fit the times, right? So, for instance, like Lumpy Wayne, let's say we took you, right, and landed you in the fucking Middle Ages, right? And you'd be going around going, has anyone got any stainless steel? Right, yeah. I can make a shiny metal out of fucking lumps of rock, right? Yeah, they burn you at the stake as a witch. But, right, because you wouldn't fit the times. The times fit the people fit the times. I'll give you an example, proof, here you go. Time of the Roman Empire, fucking Romans everywhere. There you go. Logic. Now, point is, you can't argue with that kind of logic. The point is, when you look at history, though, not only do the times fit the people and the people fit the times, the other thing you realise is that when a crisis comes, the people that have to deal with that crisis, in a strange way, it suits them. In a weird way, a crisis fits them like a fucking glove. It's like they're the right people in the right place at the right time. And you can see that in the history of this country. The United Kingdom, greatest country in the world, when we, 80 years ago, our proud history, 80 years ago in the Second World War, World War II, the ultimate showdown, 39-45, when we, the British, on our own, no help from no one else, by ourselves, solo, Mittal style, defeated the entire f***ing planet with no help from anyone else. By ourselves, no help from no one else. Alone. One foot off the floor, one hand behind our f***ing backs. Our grandparents, the greatest generation that ever lived, and of course the lads here. Our grandparents, the finest generation the world has ever seen, because what did they do? They smashed fascism in its fetid fucking lair. They took the cold steel of the bayonet to Mussolini's fucking fascism, and then overthrew Imperial Japan's ambitions by getting the Americans to do it for us. Incredible people. The greatest fucking generation ever. We salute their achievement. And that crisis fit them like a fucking glove. They were the right people in the right place at the right time because they understood duty. They understood that the hard yards are the hard yards that you're going to have to fucking endure. They understood that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. They understood that in the end, you've got to put your fucking shoulder to the wheel and push because otherwise the wagon will never move. They understood the true meaning of duty. And that crisis fit them like a fucking glove. And when their Prime Minister come on the radio, and I don't do impressions, right? But when their Prime Minister come on the radio, and I do not do impressions, I'd like to make that clear right now, Lumpy Wayne, I do not do impressions, right? When the Prime Minister come on the radio, he says, I have nothing to offer but blood, sweat, toil, and tears. We shall fight them on the beaches, we shall fight them on the landing stages and in the fields and in the streets. We shall never surrender. This is never in the history of the field of human conflict is so much. We know by so believe who so do. This is not the end of the beginning or the beginning of the end, it's merely the end of the beginning. Some chicken, some naked in the morning, madam, I shall be sober. Now, right, so, right, no, I don't do impressions, but he come on the radio and he called his nation to arms, and this country, our grandparents rose as one, as a nation, and said, all right then, if that's how it's got to fucking be, Winston, let's fucking do it. You want some, do you, Adolf? Let's fucking Musso. All right, Musso, you're next, you fat bastard. Tojo, yeah, get in line. And I think of that generation, and my heart swells with pride. I think, Wayne, of your grandpa in that Spitfire in the azure blue over the Kent countryside in the summer of 1940. Our finest hour when the Battle of Britain, the fighter command, chased the Luftwaffe away and crushed Hitler's ambitions for conquest of the world. And I salute him for everything he fucking did. And then I think, Dan, yeah, I think of your fucking great uncle fixing bayonets and a rubble at Monte Cassino and chasing the Fallschirmjäger out of that fucking monastery and down the hill and popping a road open to Rome in the spring of 1944. And I salute him for everything he fucking did, yeah. And you Kiwi lads, I think of your great-grandpas, right, in the fucking jungles of Burma with that Vickers gun, and daka 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 daka, as another human wave attack of Japanese soldiers came at them, and thinking, daka daka daka, it's a machine gun, it's a fucking machine gun. And I salute them for everything they fucking did. And then, Marina, I think of your nan doing all those disgusting things with American airmen. And No, we shall not see her like again. She gave her everything for king and country. And that crisis fit them like a fucking glove. Right people, right place, right time. And then, of course, 80 years later, our moment came when history and destiny combined and a fresh emergency was faced by our island people. And that crisis fit us like a fucking glove too. Because when our Prime Minister called us to arms, he asked us to do something we've been dreaming of doing. Our entire lives. He asked us to do something we'd been perfecting for fucking generations. He asked us to do something we never dared dream would ever come our way. Because when our Prime Minister come on the TV, and I don't do impressions, right? But when our Prime Minister come on the TV, the thing about Boris Johnson, right? See a lot of people very fucking angry with him. Think about Boris Johnson, right? Is I reckon down the pub, he'd be a laugh. But he would never have his wallet on him, would he? He'd never his fucking wallet. Anyway, what is it? He come on the TV, and I don't do impressions. And he looked down that lens at each and every one of us, sat in our lounge, and what did he do? Quarter-act demonstrandum, a bit of Latin there, make me feel stupid. Viruses come out of China, it's serious. So what I'm going to do is write some rules that you're going to obey, and I'm just going to go on the fucking piss. Like that. No, because as you understand, I do what I fucking want, you have to do as you're told. So, hands, face, space, hands, heads, shoulders, knees and toes, testicles, what's your wife's tits. But he looked down that lens. Don't do impressions. He looked down that lens and he called us as a nation to arms. And he looked down that lens and he asked us to do something that we have been dreaming of doing for generations. And he asked us to pull a 4-month fucking sickie. And we the British rose as one and said, all right then, if this is how it's got to fucking be, load me up, Boris, I can fucking take it. Let's fucking do this. Call a fucking takeaway now. Right people, right place, right fucking time. That crisis fit us like a fucking glove, ladies and gentlemen. And be grateful in your hearts that it was us that got to fight the coronavirus and not our grandparents, because they'd have fucking nuked China by now. And you've got to compare and contrast, don't you? Compare and contrast, right? Yeah, our grandparents, right, they had an ambulance. They were lucky. lucky they got an Anderson shelter at the bottom of the fucking garden to protect them from Luftwaffe bombs, right? What did we need? Big fucking telly. They had to carry a respirator, a gas mask, everywhere they went for fear of German gas attack. Yeah, what did we need? Good, stable broadband. They had a ration card controlling the calorific input on a daily fucking basis. What did we get? 10 quid off fucking Nando's. Yeah, lumpy Wayne. Right people, right place, right time. That crisis fit us like a glove. And I know in my heart when you youngsters, when your moment fucking comes, you kids, yeah, when your crisis comes, I know that you will fucking smash it just like we did, yeah? They will. The youngsters will be fine, as long as it involves being offended. That is a fucking useless prick. Assholes. Anyway. But as I said, we're living in a history book, right? And the fellow on the end with this sort of scarf, what's your name, pal?
Steve.
Steve, what do you do, Steve?
Retired.
Retired. From what, Steve?
Used to be an architect.
Used to be an architect? Fantastic.
20 years ago.
Well, it's the architect that got your job.
Good luck to him.
What we're doing, like mansards and dormers, mainly?
No,
Loft extensions?
Commercial stuff.
Toilets?
No.
What? Commercial stuff?
Yeah.
All right, that bit's the office, that bit's the toilet.
Yeah.
That bit's where the kettle goes.
Pretty much.
That's basically it, isn't it? Basically.
Pretty basic.
You here on your own, Steve?
Unfortunately, yes, because my wife's in France.
Oh, she's in France.
She's French.
Would you ask the government to pay 400 million quid to get your wife back? What? Fuck off. The thing is, that's a lot of money for a wife, isn't it? Must have really loved her. Now, we are living in a history book, friends. That's the point I was making, isn't it? We're living in a history book. And in 100 years' time, right, there's going to be history departments full of blokes in cardigans arguing with each other about us. Yeah, going, oh, no, I think you've got the causality wrong there. No, the chief factor was... Right? Yeah. We're in a history book. Well, which bit of the history... This is the question you've got to ask yourself, always. Which bit of the history book are we in? We're in the bit at the start, right, where the historian's going, oh, fuck me, these poor bastards have no idea what's around the corner. Or... we're in the middle of the history book, where he's going, oh, they're fucking this up. Or, we're at the end of the history book, where he says, and then they all died. Well, the truth is, we'll never know, will we? Because those books will be in Chinese. Now,